It's time to live your stronger life. Hey, I'm Sammy, physio coach and nutritionist, and your hype girl for creating your stronger life. Here, we ditch the quick fixes and build real strength inside and out. So whether you're here to tone up, drop the body fat, build muscle, mental resilience, or ditch the diet culture, or just feel bloody good in your skin, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. So you manage your bank account, right? You know roughly what comes in each week, you know your expenses, and you know that if you keep spending more than you earn, eventually you're dipping into your savings or you're in debt. Now here's what I want you to consider. Your body works the same way, literally the same way. And once that clicks, I mean truly clicks, this whole calorie thing, calorie in versus calorie out, how to be in a calorie deficit, stops being so confusing and starts making actually complete sense. So in this podcast, I am going to break down energy balance, understanding this calorie in versus calorie out, how to actually drop body fat. I'm doing it in a way with a bank account analogy. I love analogies. If you know me well, I love my metaphors, I love analogies, and I genuinely think this one is going to change how you see food, fuel, and fat loss forever. So let's get into it. Now, what even is a calorie? So first things first, that's the one thing that everyone's like, what the hell even is a calorie? All it is it's just literally a measure, a unit of measure, right? That's all it is. It's the same as centimeters measuring like length, kilometers measuring distance, liters measuring liquid, calories measures energy. Specifically, it measures how much energy is stored in your food, or technically kilocalorie is how much energy it takes to raise 1 liter or 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree. That is technically a kilocalorie, and it's just like how much energy, they then transfer that into how much energy is in food, therefore how much energy your body uses to function day to day. That is literally all it is. It is just a measuring tool. It is not a good thing. It is not a bad thing. It's not a punishment. It's not a reward. It is literally just a number on the scale. It is, so when you're like getting guilty over like having certain amounts of calories and things like that, you're literally just like getting guilty over like, oh my God, it's 5 centimeters versus 10 centimeters. It's literally the same thing. But let's determine this in regards to where the bank account part comes in. So imagine your body is a bank account. Every week, money goes in, money goes out, and the balance or the deficit determines what happens to your body composition. So let's map this out. Money coming in is like calories coming in. That's everything that you eat and drink. Every meal, every snack, every coffee, everything. All of it is deposited into your bank account. Spending money is like calories out. That's everything your body burns throughout the day just to exist, plus movement, exercise, digesting your food. Every time you breathe, you move, you think, you sleep, your heart beats, your body is spending energy. It is spending energy even while you're doing nothing at all. So if we balance the books, that's our maintenance calories. When what comes in equals what goes out, you're at maintenance. Your weight stays exactly the same. You're not gaining, you're not losing, you're just managing your bank account perfectly week to week. When you're spending more money than you have, that's putting you into a calorie deficit. Then this is the fat loss zone. When your body needs more energy than what you're giving it through food, it has to go somewhere else to find it. And so where does it go? Your savings account. So in this analogy, your savings account is stored body fat. Well, hopefully stored body fat. If you are not eating high protein and if you are not resistance training, then your savings account may be two different accounts, your muscle mass and your body fat, and you may be pulling more out of your muscle mass account than you are from your body fat account. Not ideal. So we want it to pull from our body fat savings account. And so that's literally what stored body fat is. It's energy that your body has stored away for a rainy day. If you're a female, we also do have an essential amount of body fat that we need stored at all times to protect our hormone health and our ability for reproduction and just to function day to day. And our essential fat levels are higher than male essential fat levels. So that is why males can be leaner than we can and still be healthy. So just do not compare yourself to your lean ass boyfriend who can eat 10,000 calories and still have a six pack, because you do need some essential body fat. It's important. So back to the analogy. When you're in a deficit, your body dips into those reserves, your stored body fat or your savings account, and burns them for fuel. So that is fat loss. So when you spend less than what you need, you're now in a calorie surplus. This is the opposite. You're now eating more than your body burns, and so that excess, you have more money coming in, it's going to get saved. I just combined saved and stored in the same word. It gets saved or stored, put into reserves, which is body fat. Or if you're training well and you're only in a slight surplus and you're pushing hard in your training, hopefully that actually could be a little bit of muscle mass. But more often it is body fat if you are not effectively utilizing those extra calories and if you're in too much of a surplus as well. So this is why we don't accidentally get bulky from a few extra meals, but it's also why consistent overeating over weeks and months does lead to body fat gain. Your body is just doing exactly what a good bank account does, saving the overflow. We're just like squirreling away money over and over and over again. It sounds simple, but your expenses aren't fixed, and that really matters to understand. So this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So think about your actual expenses in life. Some of them are fixed. Your rent or your mortgage, same every single month. Your phone plan, same every single month. But some of your expenses are going to be variable. Groceries are going to fluctuate. Petrol depends on how much you're driving. Going out for dinner some weeks and not on others. And your body's energy expenditure works exactly the same. You have fixed expenses. These are your non-negotiables. Your body runs every single day just to keep you alive. So that is like your basal metabolic rate. It's the energy your body burns at complete rest. Your heart beating, your lungs breathing, organs functioning, brain running. That all costs energy. Even when you're lying on the couch just watching Netflix. So for most women, your basal metabolic rate could be, 1,300 up to 1,700 calories a day just for the basics. I'm talking before you've even gotten out of bed. You need that amount of calories in a 24-hour period just to stay alive. Then you've got your variable expenses. So that's your daily movement, your steps, your exercise, your training sessions. These all add to your daily calorie target and also, all your budget. A day where you walk 12,000 steps and smash a heavy leg session is going to cost you a lot more than a rest day where you barely leave the couch. Okay, and then there is the thermic effect of food. So basically that is just digesting your food actually burns calories. Protein especially, it costs your body more to break down protein and absorb it and digest it and all that jazz than it does carbs or fats, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people recommend high protein diets. Now, it's not a huge amount, it's nothing to write home about, but every little 1% can really count to make your fat loss journey a little bit easier. And then we have NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is just a fancy term for all the little movements you do day to day without thinking. Fidgeting, carrying groceries, taking the stairs, pacing around on the phone. And this is massively underestimated, and it is one of the things that actually varies the most person to person and can make a bigger impact on your fat loss journey than even just exercise can alone. So when you add it all up, you've got your basal metabolic rate, you've got your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and you've got the thermic effect of food and exercise. These are all your different expenses throughout the day. Some are fixed and some are variable. And to be honest, even your basal metabolic rate, whilst I say it's a fixed expense, it's fixed with a little bit of variation. Maybe we'll call it like your mortgage, how there's different interest rates. And so your mortgage can change a little bit, but it's like kind of fixed. That's kind of like your basal metabolic rate and the thermic effect of food. So they're more your fixed running costs, plus you've got your variable daily spending. That's your total daily energy expenditure in a nutshell. And that's the number your food intake is being measured against. And this is why two women who are the same height, the same weight, can have completely different calorie needs. Their daily expenses are different. Their lifestyle, their muscle mass, their movement, their digestion, their hormonal profiles, all of it changes the number, which is also why copy and pasting someone else's diet doesn't work. You're not managing their account. You're trying to manage your own bank account. Now, your body runs on averages, not single days. And this is the part I really need you to understand. Your bank account doesn't judge you for one big purchase. If you splurge on a Saturday night, a nice dinner, a few drinks, maybe a dessert, your account takes a hit that day. But it doesn't close. It doesn't self-destruct. It just reflects the week as a whole. And your body is exactly the same. One big day of eating doesn't make you gain fat. One really light day doesn't make you lose fat. It's the pattern over the week, the fortnight, and the month that actually drives change. Literally the same as your budget flow, going in and going out. And this is so important to understand because so many women fall into this trap of treating every single day like it's make or break. One birthday dinner and they feel like they've undone everything. One rough week and they want to start again from scratch on Monday. But just zoom out. Let's say your maintenance calories is around 2,000 calories a day. Over 7 days, that's 14,000 calories to maintain. A really big day, say 2,800 calories, that's 800 over for that one day. Does that undo the week? No, not even close. If the rest of your day was on track, you're still managing your account really well. If you wanted to be really particular about it, maybe you do 1,900 calories a day for the other days of the week and you have one day that's 2,800, then you're not really going to be that big of a blowout. It's actually going to it's going to be like 15,000 total calories. Overall, that 100 calories, nothing to write home about. That is a way that you can maintain. Like if you did 2,800, then just like shave a little bit off, look at your weekly average. That's how it balances out. Now, I'm not saying track calories obsessively 7 days a week forever. That's not the goal. But understanding this principle changes everything because it removes the all or nothing spiral. You don't need a perfect day. You just need a pretty decent week. And you don't need a perfect week. You need a consistent month over and over and over again. And that's where results are built from. Okay, so practically speaking, what does this mean for fat loss? What do we actually do with all of this? So if fat loss is the goal, you need to create a calorie deficit. Full stop, that's not optional. That's just like the mechanism of life. You just cannot change that. It just is what it is. But here's where most women get this wrong. They try to create a massive deficit. They cut everything. They go as low as possible. They spend almost nothing and save as fast as they possibly can. And in money terms, it's like you just decided that you're trying to survive on $5 a day to pay off a debt faster. Sure, technically it works, but it's miserable. You can't sustain it and you get so deprived that eventually you crack and you go on a massive spending spree. And then you're worse off than you started. Sound familiar? A moderate sustainable deficit is the answer, not an aggressive one. And when I say sustainable, I don't mean sustainable for the rest of your life. I mean sustainable for the phase of fat loss that we're going to undertake. In practice, that's roughly 300 to 500 calories below your maintenance as a starting point, enough that your body's tapping into those fat stores consistently or your savings account, but not so much that you're miserable, losing muscle, or tanking your energy and hormones. You can still afford to live week to week. You're not trying to empty your savings account in a week, you're making consistent small withdrawals over time. 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week is realistic, healthy rate of fat loss. Slow? Might feel like it, but that's the rate that actually sticks so that you don't lose all your muscle at the same time and risk rebounding all the weight back on again. Some people can handle a little bit faster and some people need to go a little bit slower, and that's okay. So here's the thing about your savings account, your body fat reserves. The body doesn't like them being emptied too fast. It will fight back. Hunger increases, energy drops, metabolism slows. It's your body trying to protect its savings. This is what we call just the science term, metabolic adaptation. And it's why crash dieting makes fat loss harder the more that you do it. Work with your body, not against it. And now, yes, I do recommend tracking your calories and your macros, but you don't have to track every single thing forever. It's not for everyone and it doesn't have to be. But if you want to understand your own account, even roughly enough to actually see results, here's what you need to know and how to do it. Step 1, you need to know your rough maintenance calories. Now this, like I said, is not one fixed number. It is ebbs and flows. So a rough maintenance range is usually the best starting point. There are online calculators like TDE calculators. I even have one on my website, projectlivestrong.com, that will estimate your total daily energy expenditure based on your age, height, weight, body fat, and activity levels. Use one. It will not be perfect. It could be, and if you put in random body fat that just doesn't match, or if you miscalculate your activity level or anything like that, it will be skew-if with the data, but it can give you a nice starting point. Mine actually will give you a range, not one fixed number, which I think is a much better starting point, because if you've chronically been dieting, then I would start on the lower end of your maintenance range and build it back up. But if you've always been eating pretty decently, you could fit anywhere in that maintenance range of calories. Then step 2, you need to decide what you're working towards. Fat loss, then we want to create a modest deficit. 300 to 500 calories is usually a pretty good starting point, 15 to 20% of your maintenance calories. If you want to build muscle, pop yourself in a modest surplus. 200, 300 calories above surplus is above your maintenance is perfect. 10% surplus, 15% surplus at the most. And then maintenance calories, stay where you are and know that maintenance calories are going to be a range, not one fixed number. Step 3, do not obsess over daily perfection. Track the week, not the day. One big evening doesn't tank your progress. One really clean day doesn't save you if the rest of the week is off. And step 4, Watch for the signs. If you're losing weight consistently, the deficit is working. If you are not moving at all after 2 weeks, and I'm not just talking scale, I'm talking scale, measurements, like how your photos are going, how your training performance is going, like everything is stalled, not just the scale. Remember that, because if you want to be toned, the scale may be higher than what you think. And if you build a muscle and drop in body fat at the same time, the scale may move a little bit differently. So you just got to keep that in mind as well. But if you are like bang on with your calories, you're nailing everything, your training, your movement, everything's looking beautiful, and you're not moving at all for after 2 to 3 weeks, then there's probably a gap between what you think you're eating and what you're actually eating. So we need to close that gap, be more consistent, be more accurate with your tracking. Drop the calories a tiny little bit, 10% or maybe even 100 calories. Move your body a little bit more. Add 1,000 steps per day. Add 10 to 15 minutes of cardio into one of your days, or do a little tiny bit of both. Don't do anything too drastic. Just start small and gradual. The smallest possible shifts to keep the progress going, so you have a longer runway of things that you can keep doing to help keep your progress continuing on. You want to use one tool, not all the tools at once. And if you're losing weight too fast, and by that I mean you're feeling exhausted, you're losing strength, you're constantly hungry, your mood's in the bin, you're spending too aggressively, and you need to add a little bit back. And maybe it's adding a little bit back all the way to maintenance and chill at maintenance for a little while, or it's just like adding 100 calories and just accept that maybe your body doesn't respond to a really hectic deficit and you need to go a little bit slower, and that is totally fine. Your body will listen to you your body will tell you if you listen to her. And here's what I really want you to take away from all this. Calories are not the enemy. Food is not the enemy. You do not need to earn your food or any of that BS. Understanding your energy balance is not about restriction. It's not about fear. It's just knowledge. It's about knowing what your body actually needs so that you can work with it effectively. And most women I talk to, honestly, are severely underfueling, and they're wondering why they're exhausted and they're not changing. Or they're eating more than they think in calorie terms, but they're still under fueling in what their body needs with their protein, their carbs, and their fats. And that's because nobody ever taught them how any of this works. So hopefully this has filled that knowledge gap for you. I love my analogies. So you know your body runs on a budget, that fat loss happens when you create a consistent moderate deficit over time, as in you keep tapping into your savings account little bit by little bit, not going too wild. And that one meal does not ruin everything. I promise you, do not just wait till Monday to start again. Just get back on the horse and keep going, because your expenses vary day to day, and that is completely normal. So I hope this was helpful. Just remember, calories are a currency. Your body is managing a bank account every single day, whether you're aware of it or not. But now you are, and hopefully you like these kind of analogies. Let me know. Thanks so much for listening. If you found this episode valuable, please rate, review, and subscribe. And I'd love if you shared this on your Instagram and tag me, Sammy_livestrong. And if you'd like to learn more about my coaching and join the Project Livestrong family, please message me, Livestrong, on Instagram, and I'll see how I can help. I'll see you next time.